Yo guys, we're back, Reaching High Podcast. We're here with Kamani again, and we've got two special guests. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, so my name's Aleksa and I'm 18 years old. I'm a marketing uni student. I also do spoken word, acting, public speaking, producing. I also work in marketing and research.
Hi, I'm Kaylah, I'm 17 and I study theatre at the British School.
And we are here because we're doing a research project for the Mayor of London. We're looking at where do young people go when they're not at home or at school, and is there a correlation between mental health and spaces?
Right, fair enough. First of all, that's quite a roster you got there. How long does it take to write your CV?
I mean, as a creative, I don't really work on CVs like that.
Oh.
I think a lot of applications for creative roles are informal, or they're not your typical CV send-offs. And a lot of times it's word of mouth. So if I'm a part of one company, they'll go to another company and be like, we really like you, or we really like working with her, you should try and help this role.
That's crazy because my CV's, well, what would be my CV isn't really as extensive as what you got going on.
But it doesn't need to be. CVs can be different formats. You can have a skills-based CV, or you can have an experience-based CV. So you can focus on either skills.
Things. I just write a CV, all these different kinds of CVs.
Word.
I have so much to learn in this.
I just write a CV, man.
So what's it? Kaylah, right?
Yeah.
What's it like doing theatre at school?
It's really good. I enjoy acting, so I find it really fun. We do like different types of styles, so we'll do like experimental, political. Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough. So I always being an aspiring actor, right? Which I assume.
Yeah.
We've done like workspaces within the theatre school, I guess, would have like diverse, very diversified. Words, please. Very diversified. You know what I mean? It's like obviously like, experiencing different types of people and culture and stuff. How's that like?
Oh, like in terms of the students at the school?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite diverse actually. I was worried, like I thought it would be like, you know, all the same types of people.
Right.
But my strand at least, like the theatre strand, is very diverse. I would say there's predominantly more like females in my year group than boys, which is quite interesting because in terms of like acting and TV shows and films, it's always males who have like the main roles and things. But when it comes to studying and like the education side, you never see that many boys. It's always more girls. But in terms of like race and cultures, it's very diverse. I know there's talks of like having a culture day. There was just the Black History Month Assembly, which I heard was really good. I didn't go because I was in lesson. But yeah, it's quite diverse.
So what's the crowd like at your long range of other stuff that you do?
Well, pick one. Be specific.
That's the thing I can't remember.
Okay, great. So I'd say, I mean, the marketing and research work that I do is for theatre companies and creative practices. So I guess it's still kind of the same industry I'm around. But regardless, like Kaylah said, it's very, very diverse. You would meet all types of people from all different areas and backgrounds. And yeah, I think I love that because you meet people with different perspectives, especially when you're looking at the spoken word scene, where people use spoken word as a form of self-expression. And they come and share their stories and their experiences, and it's because they're from all these different backgrounds and they have all these different life experiences, the perspectives that you gain from them are just...
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, we here at Reaching Higher are a very, very, very humble youth organisation. Basically what we do is we give young people a space where they can like be themselves, do you know what I mean? 'Cause obviously like within school and possibly within their home and stuff, do you know what I mean? They're kind of restricted, do you know what I mean? Like from being their full selves. Like with Reaching Higher now, like we don't restrict them, or we don't like confine them to being in a strict way of way of character or being a certain way. It's like basically all different people come and they just express themselves and be free. So especially with during half term and summer, during the half term we have hangouts, which is like basically a range of activities like yourself, where people can come do sport, and then come. But just come and chill and hang out, I mean, make sure they're fed, this, that, and the other. And over the summer, this thing called Summer Blitz, like basically like within, August?
Yeah.
So within August, like just right through, they just, it's basically like 4 hangouts back to back, which is really great. Me and Jamal, we we volunteered, but we got paid, but like we volunteered, basically helped out, which is the first time I did any form of like proper work, which was, I found it really fun. I like building the
That was
future of the young
an
people.
experience,
You know
honestly.
what I mean? Like that was actually fun,
Yeah.
especially. I guess it's just because I've been in region higher for a while now. Do you know what I mean? And it's just going from being taught by them to working alongside them. It's like a rite of passage. You know, it feels really nice. And in the podcast now, which I can't remember, how long have we been doing the podcast now?
A couple of months now.
Yeah, for a couple of months now. And what we do is we talk about. What did we talk about? Last time.
To be honest, it's
yeah,
just-
because like it changes it depending. Because like last week we was talking about the Jamaican band and dancehall music on the radio and stuff, and how that will affect the Jamaican music industry. But then someone forgot to put a memory card in the camera. That's fine. But it's all good. We'll come again. But like basically, like it was mostly like free flow in it.
Yeah.
So like obviously now we can like put a proper structure and then come back and revisit that. And the week before that, we were discussing relationships. I think.
Yeah.
And we
No.
were talking with Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby was discussing his relationship and how difference between dating back then, because he has like 10 years on us. That was like how dating was with him back then, and compared to how it is now. So stay tuned for that episode, or whenever it comes out. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, man. So that's what we do, innit? Like we just talk about stuff and give our own personal opinion, our authentic view. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what we are in authentic views. We're not authentic, still authentic. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, welcome. It's glad to have you guys.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
Jamal, anything you want to say?
We covered a lot. You
I'm
covered-
sorry.
Nah, it's alright. Nah, it's
I was in my zone.
Nah, you
So
covered
yeah, you guys got some questions for us.
Yes, we do. I think it's interesting that you talk about this being a space that lacks restrictions and a space where young people just come and be and express themselves, because essentially that's the spaces we're advocating for.
Right.
And based on our research, that's the spaces we found that a lot of young people want to go to.
Right.
And so it's really good that you have these opportunities and
Yeah.
space to come and do that. Do you want to give us some more questions?
Yeah, so I want to ask you guys, do you believe there are a lot of good or healthy spaces available for young people?
Minus this, obviously.
Yeah.
In this area specifically, because obviously I don't know about any other area, I think there definitely could be. There can be more, but there's obviously legacy. That's probably one of the biggest things that's came to Croydon, like to help out the youth to come together, because there's a whole big zone of just activities, people expressing their talent, expressing themselves, just like this. But I think something like that, there's football academies for young people, there's places like, there's gyms and stuff, but to be honest, I don't think there's enough. There's a lot, but I don't think there's enough.
I think there's a couple that are in Croydon, but I think that it's because they don't get enough exposure. Do you know what I mean? Because like the only two main youth groups that I know in Croydon is basically Reach Higher and Legacy. Do you know? But there's a couple others. There's one that came to Arena that one time, and it's so bad I don't even remember what their name is. Do you know? Like I only saw them once. Do you know? But like they have a following, but because like as I said, the exposure, do you know? They're not really highlighted enough for like young people to even know about them. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it's just I think it's the youth organisation within the area. They have to work with the schools, do you know, to like actually get to the youth and be like, yo, this is where we are, do you know, this is what we do, do you know, you can come to us and we can help you, do you know what I mean? Like that's how I ended up finding out about Region Higher, because Region Higher at my school, they did a thing for our leader for the leadership team. So when I became deputy head boy, me and Jamal became deputy head boy, then we joined the leadership program, and then from there kind of funneled through to Region Higher, and then we started doing leaders in training, which is the actual official Region Higher program, and then we went there consistently, and went there so much, and we got really integrated ourselves within Region Higher, and now we're here doing a podcast. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it's just like really growing with them. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's what Region Higher like, gets to the point where like you grow with them. You know, because obviously like you have to before leaders in training we call it lits. Before that you have forerunners. I didn't get to go forerunners because I didn't know about it. But if I knew about it, I would have went there. But so we have forerunners. And then forerunners funnels into lits, and then from lits you can like basically they will like let you go into the world knowing that they built you into a decent young person hopefully, or you like literally you can funnel into the Region Higher workforce, which is what we're trying to do basically, like with a little working up some of lits, working up hangouts. Hopefully next time when is Hangouts again? I think next Hangouts will be February.
Yeah,
Next
something like that.
Next half term. So within there, hopefully, get 5 weeks in my application, and yeah.
Right.
Allow me to ask a question. Right. So the question was, do you believe there are a lot of good or healthy spaces available? And no. You answered the question. I just wanted to ask, what do you think a good or healthy space looks like?
What is it? I think it's a space where like you can see that children are like happy to be there. I mean, like not exactly like, because obviously they don't have to be out shouting and screaming and laughing and stuff. But I guess just like just being there unrestricted. Do you know what I mean? Just like just existing and vibing. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously it's not every day you're gonna be out here running up and down, screaming and laughing this that and the other. But then again, like you're not in a place where you're uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it's just depending on about how you feel within the space and how it impacts you. Do you know what I mean? So like if you're comfortable within the space, then that will of course be a good space. Do you know what I mean? If you're uncomfortable, then it's a bad space. So I guess it's just providing a place where children can be comfortable within themselves. Do you know what I mean? Without having to like put limitations or restrictions upon them. So I think that's one thing that Richard High is really good at. Like they literally provide a space where kids can just be themselves. Do you know what I mean? And we just accept them how they are. We're not really judgmental or anything.
And what does being being yourself look like in space for you?
For me, I'm really outgoing when I'm at Richard High. No, because like that's the thing. That's another thing. Like being in Richard Higher is really brought me out to be more social. Do you know, because obviously when I'm at school, like schools, I don't even like thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? So, but like when I'm at Region Higher now, like because I'm so comfortable, because I'm so innocent, I'm willing to like go out there and talk to people, socialize. Do you know what I mean? I think that really built up my character as well. Them to help me go on networking, doing all this stuff. I'm like, bro, before Richard Higher, I don't even think I'll be able to do a podcast. Me sit down in front of a camera, big YouTube.
Reaching Higher promo, like.
Now I'm a different person. You know what I mean? Especially like Richard Higher builds such a close bond with the children as well. That's another thing that they do really well. Like they actually bond with you. I mean, it's not even a thing where like, oh yeah, I'm teaching you to this, that, and the other. Like it's a thing where I'm your friend. I mean, I'm someone that you can trust, someone that you can confide this and the other. And it's true because there is like people at Richard Higher. There's not really just like I don't come and be like, oh yeah, they're my teachers or anything like that. They're my family. So I mean, like it's a really, really, really tight bond. So that's another part of Richard Higher does really well. So come to Richard Higher.
Thank you. What do you think? What do good or healthy spaces look like to you?
A healthy space, well, for me, like in general, I think a healthy space is just to be in a place where you feel love and like just wanted without having to show extra attention. Do you know what I mean? Just where there's a place like you said where everything's friendly, everyone's friendly, you can talk to anyone without being felt like they're thinking about something. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you covered quite a lot. Like I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think a good, like healthy environment would probably be somewhere where you feel loved and where you can communicate and be yourself. Do you know what I mean?
What would you say love means to you?
Boy, that's a dangerous question.
Love.
Love.
And the reason we asked this is because during our research, I mean, we actually want to do a love workshop because we've had a lot of young people say similar things. They say they like a healthy or good space to them looks like a space where they feel loved or a space where there is love. And so for us, it's like that sounds nice. What does that mean? What does that look like?
Love, probably where I don't know. I think just somewhere where you can feel like you can do anything, say anything, where it's not like there's no judgmental like type of atmosphere going on. Do you know what I mean? Freedom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's freedom love.
I think amongst the right people, and obviously there's barriers. You know what I mean? Like boundaries where amongst people where there's a point where you can say things or do certain things around people where it's just like it's going across the line. Do you know what I mean? But feeling loved is, I don't know. It's just it's a lot. Do you know what I mean? I can't explain. Man.
That's the thing. Like, thing is, when someone asks like, "What is love?" Like, it's not really something that I can explain because the thing is, to me, love is like subjective, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, different people could like have different opinions and perceptions on what love is to them. Do you know what I mean? But like, even for myself, I'm yet to find out what love is to me. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know. Like, it's so.
Do you think that comes from being around a lack of love. So you haven't been shown enough love to be able to understand or define your own version of love.
I'm not sure because obviously I can say with my heart like I love my mom. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously, to me,
Hopefully.
loving mom.
Hopefully you do. Yeah.
Well, of course I do. Do you know what I mean? I love you, mom. Probably doesn't even watch this, but love you, mom. Yeah, like love. Like when I say I love my mom, I'm like, yeah, I respect my mom. Do you know what I mean? I care about my mom. Do you know what I mean? Like anything that my mom's feeling, I feel it too.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So that would be what love is like. That's would be like my love for my mom. Do you know what I mean? But then like that's about like love for your family. There's so much different versions of love as well. Do you know what I mean? You have love for your family. You have love for your friends. Do you know what I mean? So it's a really large spectrum. Do you know what I mean? So like you have to narrow it down and then pick apart this and the other. But like it's to fully explain it would take a while.
Okay.
Do you know, it really would.
Okay, cool. Earlier you mentioned schools and how you don't want to touch on that, so that's exactly what we're going to touch on.
Oh, no.
Do you think schools are a healthy place for young people?
Absolutely not.
Great.
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you because like I've always called school a societal battleground. It really is because within the society of school, it's a huge competition. It's huge. It's like the thing is, if you try to compete, it's long. It's actually long because like you have the thing where like you have the guys that are just naturally popular. Do you know what I mean? And then you have the guys that aren't. So the people that aren't, they normally get stick. Or they normally feel left out, and like those are the typical learners. Do you know what I mean? But then with the learners now, there's no one to really like back them up. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they're on the short end of the stick. So whenever things happen to them, when things reach them, they're either the victim of being mocked, they're being mocked, being called out on this, that, and the other. Where the popular guys, they have people to back them up. They have their following. They have their little cults. Do you know what I mean? So it's because the large social demographic. It's really it's a tough competition within them because like the teachers now, you have some teachers that will care in it, but the majority of them don't. Do you know what I mean? Because like teachers are packed up on paperwork, teachers aren't getting paid, teachers have car that needs financing, this, that, the other. Teachers are actually so stressed out. Do you know what I mean? So obviously there's life behind being a teacher. Do you know what I mean? And obviously that will impact how they teach. So they just come and they're just trying to do their job. Do you know what I mean? They're not trying to separate Michael and James fighting. Do you know what I mean? Or seeing this girl shouting at that girl across the room. And especially at the little kids now that are just acting up in general, shouting at the teachers, telling teachers to go this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? So it's a really stressful environment, not just for students, but for teachers as well. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the thing that enough people don't really think about or touch like, like, obviously everyone's in school. Everyone's thinking about themselves basically. Do you know what I mean? So no one thinks about the other guy. No one feels like what it's like to be in the other person's shoes. Do you know what I mean? So it's actually a really tough environment. Do you know what I mean? Especially secondary school. I think secondary school is hardest because like when you get to college, like it's a bit like for me from what I've seen so far, college like no one really cares. Do you know what I mean? Obviously like, you're there, you do your thing and you leave. Do you know what I mean? But with school now, everyone is on you. There's so much drama. You have to stay on top of this, you have to stay on top of that. As soon as you do it, so one person finds out, the whole school finds out. Especially since the school that me and Jamal went to, our year group was really small. So as soon as one thing bust, everyone knew about it. Everyone knew. And if you're a victim, it's peak, it's long. You're getting judged, mocked, laughed at, everything, the whole lot. Me personally, I was that kind of guy where like I was the average guy. I'll be real. Like I was an average fellow. Like I knew what was going in, but like I was never involved. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm the type of guy. I knew most things. Like I knew all the drama, I knew what was going on, but I wasn't really involved. I'll be real, because like, that's just what I was. You know, I tried my hardest not to get involved, but then like information just come back to me. Do you know, like I knew what's going on because like I had a hand in most friend groups. Do you know, it's like I'm getting involved from all these friend groups, but yeah, but then again, not everyone has that advantage. Not everyone is like immune. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna use the term immune because I wasn't really caught up in drama. Me and Jamal, we weren't really caught up in drama. Do you know what I mean? But we saw drama that was happening, and we saw the victims, we saw the aggressors. Do you know what I mean? We knew everything that was going on, and sometimes you really have to look at it and be like, oh, that's messed up. Do you know what I mean? But then again, what can we do? Do you know, obviously we can go and we can try to defend the person, Do you know what I mean? But then again, that's only a temporary problem. That's only a temporary fix for a long-term problem. Do you know what I mean? Especially like depending on the severity of the drama. Because in high school, there's a lot of messed up things that happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I could go on and on about stories, but now I treat talk people business, man, people in podcasts. Is it?
What about you? Schools, do you think they're a healthy place for young people?
They can be, and they can't. It depends. You know what I mean? In my opinion, school's what you make it. Do you know what I mean?
True.
High school is definitely character development as well. So when you're going through a stage of like, obviously, like you said, being there's guys popular, there's guys that are not really, kind of pushed aside. It kind of develops character, and obviously when people have like such a bad life at home, or some people have a good life at home, and some people have a bad life at school.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Do you know what's going on?
Yeah.
Like when it's like comes together, when there's a bad life at home and there's a bad life at school, it's not healthy. But when there's probably a good life at home, but then it can be, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
School can be just a tiny bit better. Do you know what I'm saying? But overall, I think school can be healthy, definitely a healthy environment, because there's people like that come into like therapists. I don't know what it's called. What's it called?
I think but
Counselors. Yeah.
But then again, like within like probably, I can't say like, because school is so toxic, it builds a character in the person. Like they ain't gonna even want to trust the counselors. Do you know what I mean? Me personally, I didn't like talking to the counselors. Do you get it?
And why do you think that is?
I think it's a lot of it comes from having that firming attitude. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm having a bad day, so calm, I'll firm it. But then like every day that you're having a bad day and you're saying, oh yeah, I'll firm it, you're firming it so much, but like it's like a snowball, like an avalanche. Do you know what I mean? So eventually it will just build up until you can't firm it no more. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just, oh yeah, I'm going to talk to the counsellor. Like it'll get to the point, it'll mess up your mind so much where like the counsellor can't help you, you're gonna have to get referral. Do you know what I mean?
So is that the case of you feel like you can't talk to the counsellor, or you just feel like you can't talk about your issues in general?
I think it's can't talk about your issues in general. I think it's a thing where like you all like people, especially the boys at school, they always try to play a tough guy role. Do you know what I mean? So obviously like, it's all about, oh yeah, I confirmed that. Do you know what I mean? This, that, and that. I was calm. Do you know what I mean? Like you just have to fuck it out, as they say. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it's just like I think it's not being exposed to the opportunity of being able to like talk about issues, not being told like, yo, it's okay. Do you know what I mean?
What does a space that has opportunities to speak about issues like that look like?
100% reaching higher. Because obviously
it's got to be reaching higher.
It's got to be reaching higher. No,
Okay.
like when I came to reaching higher, because of all the staff, they come from different backgrounds like that. So you must be able to find someone that you can relate to. Do you know what I mean? Or at least be in the ballpark. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it's like, and when you talk to them, they come to you at a level. Do you know what I mean? So you can be like, I can just say what you have to say. Do you know what I mean? No matter how bad it is, no matter how you want to say it. Do you know what I mean? If you want to cuss, swear, scream, do you know what I mean? At the end of it, it's between you and that person.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So because it's a space where you can really just lay it out how you want to lay it out. Because especially where in school, you have to have a school attitude.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when talking to the counsellor, you're still in school.
I'm pretty sure counsellors in school, they're like taking notes and
exactly. So you have, like, it's a thing where you have to be careful what you say, because obviously you're not going to trust someone that's in the school. Do you know what I mean? So it's a thing where you have to be careful what you say. And when you're being careful what you say, you're not going to say what you want to say. You're not going to say how you want to say it. So you're not going to be fully like letting it out. Do you know, but with Reaching Higher, however, or other youth organisations.
Reaching Higher though.
Right, but no, because like, obviously I can't Reaching Higher.
Yeah, so you're speaking from personal experience.
It's a place that you go to.
Yeah,
I
so
understand why you use that.
obviously, obviously, you're just you and the person. Do you know what I mean? They're not judgmental. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, like, you can say it however you want to say it, and however it's affecting, that's how you have to say it. Do you know what I mean? That's the only way, like, you'll be able to really lay it out, and that's how they can help you. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, when you're telling to the counsellor in pieces, do you know what I mean, and spinning stories so they won't look too severe or anything. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, with the counsel now, like any little thing, they ring up your mum, like, hey, I'll speak to your son today, this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? But what if for them? Well, they don't know how that's going to impact your life at home. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, we're reaching.
It comes back to the point that you were saying. What if you have an unhealthy household and an unhealthy school environment, and you go to the school environment to talk about your household,
and then
it comes back to the household. So you're going to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And then instead of solving the problem, is to go to the problem that created the problem,
Exactly.
and that just creates more problems.
Exactly.
Because of how, like, obviously, it's standard procedure for them as safeguard,
right,
to talk to the parent, because, like, literally, like, who else are going to call, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But with Reaching Higher now, like,
Yeah.
No, the thing is that,
You should
it's,
have that.
like I said, it's between you and the person. I mean, if your life isn't in immediate danger or anything like that, it will just be between. It will just literally just between you and whoever you're talking to. Do you know what I mean? And like they will come and help, and they'll make time to come and help you. Do you know what I mean? Like bro, Richard Hire do anything for me, and I'll do anything for Richard Hire. Like, it's just it's like that. That's the relationship. That's how close of a bond I have to this place. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like it's really such a great space to like come and literally just come and do anything that you need to do basically. Like, I remember when I need to study, I'll come here. Like man's in my books. It's like I lied, I did not study. But it's a space where you can come and study. You can space literally any need that you have. Richard Hire will find a way to come and sort it out. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, school is techie. It's techie. Like it can be healthy, but more times it isn't. Do you know what I mean? It's not really health space at all. But because here we go again now. There's so much pressure on this. Like focus on the student now. Yeah, they have GCSEs. They have sets to worry about. They have their grades or whatever. They have homework, this and the other. So they have that stress. They have academic stress, and then they have societal stress, and then they have the stress of not being able to fully open up and talk to like whoever they're trying to talk to. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't. Even if you trust the teacher, even the teacher that you're really close to, you can't go to them. Because if you go to them, they're going to tell you to go to the counsellor. Or if they hear something mad, they're gonna shout your mom because of safeguarding policy. That's why students find it so hard to really confide in a teacher, because they know that a teacher's line of work, that anything that gets flagged up, they have to make a report. Do you know what I mean? And it's by law as well, so you don't even want to get the teacher in trouble. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it's technical. It really is.
There's a lot going on.